Hey everybody, welcome to tonight's pour. Now tonight's pour is going to be another Star Trek USS Enterprise themed painting. Now, normally when I do a painting that I've done previously, like the black and whites I've done, the turtles I've done, just the Pink Floyds that I've done, I don't really record every one of them. The reason that I'm doing the Star Trek one was because the other one I didn't quite film everything that I did to it, and this one I want to film everything, so I have all the steps. So the one thing is I took a cup like this, just a little cup, and I cut the bottom out of it, just right along that little edge right there. So I started with like a steak knife that I have, an old steak knife that we don't use anymore. And I started cutting it and I got it open, and then I just took a pair of scissors and cut through there. Now granted, I didn't film that, but that's what I did. You can figure that out. So on the other painting, I put black down with some red and some metallic blue or green, blue. I think it was blue or something like that. This time I'm going to do a metallic purple and maybe a little green and some red. Not that I know what space really looks like, but I don't know. And of course, the reason I cut this out is we're going to make the planet out of this. So I'm going to set it on the canvas. The reason that it's open on the top is so I can pour the paint in, and I'll blow it around a little bit with a straw. And then I'm going to take it up. And the other reason that I'm going to be filming this as well is because I'm going to do it a little different than the last one. The last one I put the black down and everything, and then I stuck the cup, and actually the cup was smaller. I cut the bottom off of one of my little Dixie cups that I mix paints in one of these. So I cut the bottom off of it also on that edge. And so I decided to make it a little bit bigger. And then this time I'm going to put that down first and put the black down and kind of go around it so it's open, because the problem I had last time is there was probably just a little bit too much paint, so it kind of shifted, and the circular pattern of the planet it grew, which is fine, but it kind of got oblong as well on one end, and I had to go in and repaint it, which I didn't film that. And then I didn't film the adding the stars in it, which was basically taking a toothbrush, dipping it in white paint, and then just flicking the white paint, and it makes stars. So I'm going to film all that this time, so you'll have a whole picture of how I do this, or a whole video on how I do this. So I've already got the paints all mixed that I'm going to be using, and it's going to be Artist Loft Black, Artist Loft White, Artist Loft Red, and then the Master's Touched Pearlized Golden Green, the Pearlized Violet, and then I think it's Artist Loft Blue. I think that's the blue I'm going to be using. So yeah, those are the colors we're going to be using, and so all we got to do is get started. All right, so here we have our canvas. I've got my cup here. Put it up more up in there. And then I'm just setting this on here just to keep it. This is a jar of satin enamels. It's pretty heavy, at least heavy enough to hold that in place, so when I'm putting the paint down, it won't move that. Usually I don't film this part because it's boring, but I wanted you to see how I do this part of the background color. It's pretty pretty basic. You just it's kind of like icing a cake. Not that I've iced very many cakes. Now, I've eaten a lot of them, but I haven't really iced. I don't know if I've even iced a cake before. But, so we got that part of that. And then I'm going to add some color in here. Yeah, see, I don't want a ton of color, but I want it to come through. Just not really coming through, but I'll have another solution for that. Now, the reason that I'm leaving it dry underneath there by putting this on first without putting paint under it is because I want it to be dry so that it won't have too much paint around it or in that area, so it'll float. And you all know what I mean by floating, I hope. Sorry, I'm just trying to get some paint in on there. I like to cover the edges. Now you know why I don't film this part. Boring. But that is what the fast forward button is for. I just want to make sure I get it all on the back side there. Excuse my reach. Now we need a little bit more in there, so I'm just going to put a little paint there. All right, I think I'm gonna leave it like that. Clean my knife off, palette knife. We're gonna give her a torch. If I can find my torch. There it is. All right, so the last one I did also, I didn't really like I always have an effect coming out the back. I did not like it. I mean, it turned out all right, but after looking at it, I wasn't the happiest with it. So I decided if I did another one, I would not do an effect behind it. I'm just going to set it in there. Sorry, I'm trying to get this out of the package. I'm doing everything backwards from what I normally do. So, yeah. So I'm just going to set it here, which it was on its side because I can't get it to hold up. And I might be able to try that, but so it won't have an effect out the back. So we're almost done with that. We're done with the background part, except for these stars, which we will do. Actually, we'll film that tomorrow. I'm going to take this off just because it served its purpose of holding it still. So what we're going to do is we're going to add some color to that planet. So we're going to put some white in there. Some white. Some blues. And some of this green. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit more black paint right there. There's a little spot there that's not quite. You can see the canvas a little bit through it. But I don't want a lot of paint on it. Sorry if I bumped the camera. Right. So turn this just a little bit. We're going to get this. Now, you want something to kind of poke underneath this. The reason why is when you lift it up, it'll stay connected because of the suction. Well, not so much suction, but just lifting it up. So you want to pop it. So there it goes. So there's our planet. And then tomorrow I will add and I will film it, but I will add the stars to it by, like I said before, putting some white paint down, dipping the toothbrush in it, and then just flicking it across, and it'll look great. And the reason that I want to do it tomorrow, my reasoning is that white paint sinks. So I want this to dry quite a bit before I add the white to it, because then that white will sink. So that would be the reason why. So All right, I do like how the planet turned out. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Double stick here. See a little spot there. Yeah. So imagine it with stars, and then this will be right in here. Like it's coming in for the... There you go. All right. So that's kind of how I did it so far. Again, we'll have another video with me adding the stars. And then once that dries, after all that, that's when we'll place the thing in. And I'll work on maybe rigging something up to hold it like this, because I kind of would like to have it up instead of like that. All right. Now we have to do is just wait for it to dry. All right, as you can see that it's dried quite a bit here. It's still a little wet in this area here. As you can see, I put this on there to show you how far that thing really expanded out. And it's a little oblong, so I'm going to try to touch it up with a little black paint as well after I get done with the stars. So I've got my toothbrush here, and I'm just going to put a little paint right there. Doesn't need a whole lot. Then we just stick that in there like that. As you can see, we got some white paint on there. And then we'll just get a little bit more. All right, and that's how you add some stars. I did notice there's one right here that's a little... What are we gonna do? I'm gonna try to do this steadily. Let's see. I think I'll just leave it. All right, let's see. I put the cap back on. So we got some black paint left over from last night. I'm just gonna kind of touch up these few areas. So again, I need to get a real steady hand here. And it doesn't have to be perfectly round, but I wanted it to be just a little bit better than what it was. So liking that. So there you have it. That's how we add the stars. Yes, that's how we add the stars and kind of shape the planet a little bit better. So all right. So there you have it. And that is going to look good. So we'll let the rest of that dry. Then we'll place it in. What I've decided to do, let's see if I can get it. I do want the ship to be straight up like this, so that you can see it instead of tilted like this, which isn't bad. But so what I did was I took one of my stir sticks, my wooden sticks, and I cut a base off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this black so that it'll fit, it'll blend in with that. And then I'm going to glue it to the bottom and try to get it to a spot where you won't see most of it. And then I will set it in there and it will sit, it'll keep that. And I have some super glue that'll keep that pretty well set up like that. So yeah, I'm going to try that. So hopefully that'll work. I thought about just putting it on this, gluing this in there and putting that on there. But I was afraid it would show up quite a bit too. But I also want this embedded into the resin and hopefully part of the bottom of the ship in resin as well, so that it will definitely stay affixed to the painting. All right, so all we have to do is let this dry and then we'll get the resin. I'll definitely figure that out. If I can't get it, I'll have to rig up something across to hold the Enterprise. And if I can't, then I'll just put it on its side. But I'm pretty sure I can come up with something. My wife tells me I'm a smart guy, so I'll just. All right, as you can see, it is dried, and as you saw, I got the stars in, the planet in, touched up, and I really couldn't get it the stick to work, and so I basically just glued this onto the canvas, and it has stuck. So I hope it works with if the resin gets in there. I'm gonna have a tough time getting it up against there, but I really do want the ship to be stuck in the resin so it won't fall off. But we are doing 7 ounces of epoxy. Trying not to get it too close and get it on. It seemed like this one was a little thick tonight. I hope I got it measured out right. I mean, I've done it quite a bit, so it's hard for me to mess up, but you never know. And it does have a lot of bubbles in it. All right. So now we got to get this to where we got to be a little slower tonight on spreading this out, at least around the ship. let's get this stuff done first out here. Excuse me. Boy, sometimes when I start to film stuff, I just get to belching. So my little, what I call the intro video, me talking about the piece I'm going to do, I have to re-record it a number of times because I just start belching. I thought about making a blooper reel type thing, but I don't know. All right, now we got to get this in over here. So I got to get some of this spread, which I think I'm going to use the stick to get under there. Get it pushed up in there quite a bit. I got to be careful. It's going to be a little tough getting the bubbles out of that inside there. All right, I think I'm going to have to take the glove off because I'm right-handed. And I can control this a little bit better with my right hand. All right. And of course, I didn't get all of it spread over here. So I'm going to have to use this to spread it. Shoot. Get some. All right. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but it's a lot of bubbles in here. So this is going to look a lot better once we get these bubbles out. But it might take a little while on this one. Okay. A little resin on my down there. I don't want to get too close with the gun with that. See a spot there though, right there, that I missed putting some resin on. Oh, now I from my beard falling off. This one's going to be a little different for me because I'm not placing the ship in after I get done. It's already in. So it's a little different. So basically all I got to do is just torch and it'll be done. Seeing something right there. Yeah, it's going to be funny because a funny thing, I guess, I'm thinking ahead in my head here. But I have a number of people that ask me if I glue the cars on there, on my pieces and stuff. And I always say, no, I don't need glue. I don't use glue. But this one, actually, I did. The first one. Actually, that's not true. I did have one piece that I did in the front. So I remember it was a Jeep. And the front wheels came off out of the resin. The only time that's happened to me. And I did end up super gluing them back down on there. But yeah. Other than that, I have never glued an object in there. So I don't know if I'll tell people that unless they just see it on the video. But I would guess that this one, my next show is November 18th, and I would guess that this one's going to go in that show. It will sell, for sure. Oh, I think I'm done. I am done. I'm sorry about my head. Right there was a little something. Yes. I'm liking this one. Seeing other things pop up here. All right. If you like this one, hit the like button. Leave a comment, let me know what you think. Do you think I did good on the planet? I like the way the planet looks, actually, myself personally. Subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.